Rory, I need you to do the washing before I get home. There's a dress in there that I want to wear tonight when I go out with the girls. I also need to have dinner before I leave. Can't drink on an empty stomach and all. So, can you make something for when I get home? Preferably something fairly light. Maybe Eggs Benedict? You know I hate your pasta dish, so definitely not that. It's just plain disgusting.
Oh, hello, Mom. Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks for asking. What's that? How's my day going? It's not too bad, actually.
Ugh, stop being so snarky, Rory. I don't have time for this. I'm still working, unlike some people.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know exactly what I'm on about.
Oh, so you're back on this spiel again? Trying to claim that I don't work or anything, so I should act like your personal maid?
Look, we both know you don't do anything but lounge at my house all day. The least you could do is some household chores and whatever else I ask of you. It's not that hard. And whilst you're at it, I need you to take your dad shopping before I get back. So all of those other chores best be done before you leave. I really need that dress. It's the black mini one with the little straps.
What does Dad need to go shopping for?
He needs some new clothes and some new shoes. It could take a while. Oh, and if he asks where I am when you get back, just tell him I've gone over to your grandma's or something. He doesn't need to know that I've gone out with my friends, otherwise he'll just get all clingy and annoying, demanding that I come back home.
Well, if Dad doesn't like the idea of you staying out late and getting drunk, maybe you should have a talk with him? I mean, he kind of has a point. It's not good to go out and get hammered, especially when you've got work tomorrow still. It's probably not sensible to lie about where you are. What if something happens?
Listen, are you the mom or the kid? Stay in your lane. Just do what I say and there'll be no issues. Got it?
Fine. Whatever.
Good. Oh, and I also need you to transfer me some money. About 200 should do it.
That's quite a lot of money, Mom. What do you need it for? I've already paid my share of the rent and bills this month.
Well, I need it for tonight, obviously. It's going to be quite an expensive night. Can you stop questioning everything I say? It's getting tiresome.
I'm not giving you $200 just so you can go and drink it away. That's a lot of money, and I'm not going to let it be wasted on a night out.
Excuse me? You are my daughter, and I have brought you up and made sure you had a good life until adulthood, and you were able to go off on your own. But you chose not to do that, didn't you? Instead, you chose to stay living with me and your father in my house. So it's simple. You need to help pay towards rent and bills, and whatever else I say. You can't just freeload off of us for the rest of your life.
I don't freeload off you. In fact, I pay a lot of money toward the bills. I also buy my own food and whatever else I want. I never ask you or Dad for anything. The only reason I'm still at home is because I'm trying to save up for my own house. They're just incredibly expensive at the moment.
Look, your dad might fall for that, but you can't fool me. I know that you're just trying to leech off of us, but I'm not going to let that happen. So you better just do what I say if you want to have a peaceful life living in my home.
I'm not trying to leech off of anyone. What kind of mom talks to their child like that? You act as if I'm some horrible stranger you don't know.
Just because you're my daughter doesn't mean I have to let you do whatever you want. I'm trying to show you that if you want to live your life at 26 years old with your parents still, then there are going to be certain things that you need to do in order to help out.
I do help out.
Look, I really need to get back to work. Just make sure you do what I've asked you to do, and that your dad isn't in the house when I get back. I don't want another argument with him about this.
Fine. Ugh.
Your mom again?
Yeah. She just messaged me demanding that I cook her dinner, wash her clothes for her night out, distract my dad while she sneaks out to go on said night out, and give her $200 so that she can buy herself drinks all night. I mean, what kind of mom does that?
A pretty rubbish one, I'd have to say.
Yeah, sorry about just randomly dumping all that on you.
Hey, it's okay. It's what best friends are for. I'm just sorry you have to put up with someone like that on a daily basis.
I know. If I could just get out of here, things would be so much better. I don't know how my dad puts up with her. I swear, if I wasn't there, she'd just use him as her own personal punching bag.
Your dad's way too sweet for that.
Yeah, but it's not like I can just go up to him and be like, "Hey dad, I think you should divorce mom and leave her." Although I wish I could. Have you ever heard of a child actually wanting their parents to divorce? I know I haven't.
Yeah, but it's not exactly like your mom acts like a mom. She acts more like a teenager wanting to go out all the time with her friends and get drunk.
That's true. You know, she thinks she's so sneaky, but I know that she's actually cheating on my dad with some guy she works with.
Why don't you tell your dad that? He'd leave her if he knew what she was actually doing.
I want to tell him, but I also know that it'd break his heart. For some odd reason, he actually loves her. I don't want to be the person who destroys that love in over 20 years of marriage.
It's a tough situation. But do you really want him to continue living with someone who is betraying him in such a horrible way? Surely that's worse than telling him what's actually happening. I know I'd hate to be kept in the dark if something like that had happened to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm going to have to think about what to do.
Well, whatever you decide, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Sadie. Means a lot.
Rory, why isn't my dinner ready? And why isn't my dress washed? Rory.
I guess I just didn't get around to doing it. Oh well.
Ah, that's it. I've had enough of your snarky and sarcastic attitude. I mean, all I ask is for you to do a few things, and you can't even do that. If you're not going to be useful and helpful, then I have no other option than to kick you out of my house. I don't care if you have nowhere else to go. I want you gone by the end of the week.
You know what? That's fine by me.
Yeah? Well, have fun sleeping on the streets.
Who said anything about sleeping on the streets?
Well, you've got nowhere else to go. I know you haven't gotten enough money to buy your own house.
Actually, I think you'll find that I do now.
What? How? That's impossible. There's no way that you've been able to save up that much. Where did you get the money from?
Well, Dad is giving it to me.
What? He doesn't have that kind of money.
Not at the moment, he doesn't, but when the divorce goes through and he sells the house, he said he's giving me half of it to buy my own place to live.
Divorce? What divorce?
Oh, yeah. Dad's divorcing you.
What? Why?
Because you've been cheating on him for God knows how long, and because you're just a generally horrible person. I'm surprised he didn't leave you sooner.
How did he know I've been cheating on him?
Well, you didn't hide it very well.
What do you mean?
I've known that you've been cheating on Dad for months now. The only reason I didn't say anything sooner is because I didn't want to hurt Dad. But after some careful consideration, I've decided that letting him stay married to a horrible person like you is hurting him much more than telling him about your infidelity.
You told him?
Yep. As soon as I did, he said that he was going to divorce you, as he doesn't want to stay with someone so vile.
You are such a horrible daughter. I can't believe you're actually related to me.
I feel exactly the same about you.
Well, if you think that I'm just going to let you and your dad sell off my home and split the money between the two of you, you're sorely mistaken. I'm going to fight with everything I have to make sure that I get what I deserve. I'm going to hire the best lawyers that money can buy and take everything from you and your dad.
Well, you can try, but with the evidence that Dad's got, I'd be surprised if you ended up with anything at all.
What do you mean? What evidence?
Well, it seems that one of your so-called friends had had enough of your horrible and vile behavior and decided to film you at a bar together with some guy. She did this every time that she saw the two of you together. I think she was planning on blackmailing you. Dad messaged a bunch of your friends after I told him of your infidelity. He wanted to make sure it was true or not. And this friend of yours sent him all the videos and messages and pictures that she had gathered.
How could she do this to me?
Maybe, if you weren't so mean and vitriolic to people, they would be more inclined to help you and be your friend. As it turns out, though, you've annoyed the wrong woman, and she has been more than happy to help Dad bring you down a peg or two, which is great for us. Oh, and Dad has also gone over the bank records for the last few months and found out that you've been spending a lot of money from your joint account. Something that you really shouldn't have done, as the judge will surely say that you need to repay any and all money you've taken from it that wasn't agreed by the both of you. Yeah, looks like you'll be the one living on the streets.
But I'm your mother. How could you do this to me?
You're not my mom. You might have given birth to me, but you've never acted like a proper mom. You belittle and degrade me and basically just try and make me do whatever you feel like. I'm glad to be getting rid of you from my life.
I'll get you back for this.
No, you won't actually, because I'm also getting a restraining order against you. If you come anywhere near me, it's off to jail for you. So, have a nice life. Or don't. I don't really care anymore. After that, my dad went through the process of getting divorced from my mom and settling all of the money and assets. Like I thought, because my mom was the one cheating and using the joint account illegally, she had to forfeit pretty much all of the money from the selling of the house and all of the other assets. I was finally able to buy my own house with my dad's help, and we're both living very happily in a much more relaxed and less toxic life. As for my mom, well, I don't really know what happened to her. She disappeared after the divorce was finalized, and I haven't heard from her since. Something I am more than happy with.
Hey Carol, can we talk? It's about us living together at my parents' place.
Hey Mark, not a good time. I'm headed to an important meeting. I really don't have time for this. Can we talk later? Besides, I thought we already talked about that. We agreed that we wouldn't live with your folks after getting married. You were okay with it. Why now?
Yeah, I know. But I got to thinking, I am the oldest, and also an executive at my father's company. I figured it would be kind of convenient to live with my folks.
How about we make it a weekend-only marriage? We're living at my house right now. We can get back to living like we did before we got married. I live here at my folks' place, you with yours, and we get together on weekends, no problem.
Are you serious? Why even stay married then? If we're married, I want us to live together, not just weekends.
You want me to live with your folks, you do realize I run a company, right? If something happens, my priority is to think of the company first and foremost. I have employees and they have their families to take care of. As for your family, I can help out financially, but I can't look after them at all the time. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know, but if you love me, I want you to, care about them too. I know, maybe I'm being a little unreasonable. It's just that...
Come on, Mark. You know I love you. I wouldn't be marrying you if I didn't. And about your folks, I think highly of them. But my feelings for them and my work are completely different. Besides, both your parents are still working, right? And another thing, your younger brother and his family are living there too. How am I supposed to work full-time and also do household work? It's just not possible right now. Your brother's wife, Mary, will end up having to do most of the work. I'm sure she has her hands full as it is. If I live there and not help with the chores, even though I help out financially, just doesn't sit well with me, you know what I mean?
Don't worry about Marie. She loves to do housework and cook. It's almost like a hobby with her.
Really? Every time I go there, she seems kind of tired out. Didn't seem like she was enjoying any kind of hobby. Another thing I noticed was that your parents are always pretty well dressed, but Mary is always in, I wouldn't say rags, but close to it. Which kind of got me thinking, she's not being bullied in any way, is she?
Are you serious? Of course not! I've been living in the same house as her for 5 years. And I've never witnessed such a thing. How could you even think that?
Yeah, right. Sorry. Of course your folks would never do such thing. They've always seemed kind and considerate.
That's right. And Marie is a bit unusual. She said she has no interest in fashion.
Oh yeah? Anyway, about living there with you guys, that's on hold, okay? If you're so adamant about us living there, I need a pretty good reason or I'm not going to agree, just so you know.
Boy, you really are stubborn.
You should be grateful I'm even considering it.
Alright. I'll figure something out. You need a good reason. I'll find one.
I'm sorry to contact you so late. This is about you guys living with us. Are you still up?
Oh, hi Mary. No problem, what's up? Pretty late. Been working late? Sorry I contacted you earlier out of the blue. I guess you were tired up.
No problem. I was sort of busy with work and household chores. I wanted to contact you earlier.
I see. Are you okay? You're not overworked or anything, are you?
I'm fine. Pretty used to it by now. About you guys living here, Mark said that he wants you to live here with us soon. I really don't think you should go through with it.
Huh? Excuse me? What do you mean? Can you elaborate if you don't mind?
I'll explain, but could you not tell Mark that I talked to you about this? I'd appreciate it.
Yes, of course. Besides, I contacted you without Mark's knowledge anyway.
I came to this house about 5 years ago, as you probably know. Ever since then, I've been working non-stop and no days off at all, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I came here with a reasonable amount of savings, but that's all gone, and I'm running the company all by myself. When I first arrived, the company was in the red for quite some time. They were barely making payments every month and was on the verge of bankruptcy. And as for the household chores and cooking, I'm responsible for all of it. Everyone in this family, even my husband, they don't help out at all. I'm just a slave to them.
Whoa! Hold it right there, Mary. Are you serious? Is that why you're always wearing those clothes? I heard that you were just not interested in fashion.
I just don't have the money to buy any nice clothes. That's why. I've been wearing the same clothes for the last 5 years. I couldn't afford to buy anything new ever since I arrived here. But the other family members seem to be indulging themselves. I'm sure you've noticed.
That's no environment to be in. I urge you to get out right now. I know, let me talk to Mark about this. He'll know what to do.
There is no escape. I'm stuck here. There's nobody out there that will help me. I'm a slave for life. As for Mark, he's seen the predicament I'm in. After all, we've been living under the same roof for 5 years. He's well aware of my situation. He's part of this family.
That can't be right. Mark is not like that. He's a bit timid, but he's kind and considerate. And about me living there with them, I figured his mom was nagging him about it.
That's all a front. Mark is only acting kind and considerate. And you may not believe me, but
What is it?
I heard that you lost your parents a while back. They find people in situations like yours, create an environment where you have nowhere else to go, and entrap you and use you as they please. That's what they did to me, and they succeeded for 5 years, so they figured they needed another slave. Actually, I heard them talking about it. And you also own your own company. I'm sure that once you move in with them, they take everything, rob you blind.
But you still have a chance. I urge you to cut all ties. Get away from these people as soon as possible.
I'll be okay. I've given up any hope of escape.
No, you can't be serious. I can't leave you there all alone. Let's escape together.
That's good and all, but there is nowhere else to escape to. Even if you go to the police, they will do nothing. They'll just say it's a family matter and nothing will be done.
Well, in that case, I help you escape.
Huh? Seriously?
If you had not confided in me, I would have moved in with you. You saved me from grief. Now it's my turn to save you. Even if I didn't end up living with him, they may have found a way to rip me off. I'm sure of it. You were there for 5 long years. Thanks for warning me about them. So don't worry, Mary. You're in luck. I'm on your side, and we'll figure out how to get out of this awful mess.
Carol, are you being straight with me? Do you really believe what I'm telling you?
I always thought it was sort of strange. I don't know how to pout this, but you just seemed so out of place there. When I ask Mark, he never really gives me a straight answer. And the fact that he keeps breaking his promise and insisting that we all live under one roof, I started to get suspicious. So when you told me about this, I was actually not all surprised. Besides, if I don't believe you, how am I supposed to rescue you, right?
I have a confession to make, Carol. I was thinking that if you did eventually move in, my life would become a bit easier. That they would focus on you, and it would ease my pain. I'm sorry.
Then why didn't you tell me the truth? Why did you warn me?
Well, when you came to the house those few times, you were so kind to me. Nobody has ever been so kind to me for so long. I was just so happy that someone out there cared for me. That's when I realized that nobody else should endure such pain, that this should end with me.
You're a strong and intelligent woman, that's for sure. I want you to pay back for telling me the truth about them. I'm going to get you out of there. I guess we are not very good at picking guys, but we are way better than those people. Let's put our heads together and give them a taste of their own medicine. What you say?
Hey, Carol, it's you, isn't it? I know it's you. You're protecting Marie, am I right?
Protecting Mary? What are you talking about?
Don't act like you don't know. Marie is nowhere to be found. Everyone at home is frantically looking for her. You're harboring her. I know you are. Marie has no close family and no close friends. You're the only one that she would go to. Oh yeah, and you changed the keys on your house. Now why would you do that? My keys no longer work. I couldn't get in last night. I had to stay over at my folks' place. You're the only one she would go to. That's ample proof you have her. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right, and that means you know perfectly well why I'm protecting her. I almost fell for your dirty trick, Mark.
Dirty trick? What are you talking about? It's you that's being tricked, Carol. Don't you realize that? Marie is mentally deranged. She's had mental problems ever since she arrived 5 years ago. Don't go believing everything she says. She's making all of it up.
That's my decision whether I believe her or not. I had no intention of relying on your financial support, so I had no interest about how your family company was doing. But it looks like the company is not doing very well. But when I met you at the business party last year, you were all decked out in an expensive suit, and that Rolex, how much did that cost? You bought all that with money borrowed through Mary's name? Is that true? You're really pathetic, Mark. I wasn't smart either, coned by the likes of you.
I bought that suit myself, and I've had that watch for ages.
Then why is Mary always dressed in complete rags? Can you answer that? She says she's just like any other woman. She loves fashion and even wants to go to a hairstylist one of these days. Why did you lie about all that? You even said that house chores was her hobby. Were you serious?
So you're going to believe someone like Marie, who you hardly even know, and not me, your husband? You've completely lost your marbles, Carol!
Lost my marbles? It's your family that's crazy. You approached me knowing full well that I had no family, my parents passed years ago, and that I owned my own company, the Perfect Pre. But I'm sorry to disappoint you. I may not have a family, but I have plenty of friends and employees that respect me and would do anything for me. You picked on the wrong person, buddy. Oh, by the way, our marriage is over. I filed for divorce today.
Well, so be it! You turned out to be just another no-good bimbo with money! It was a big mistake marrying you anyway. I'm glad I can get rid of you. And thanks for getting rid of the debt-ridden little floozy you're harboring. Saved us the trouble of getting rid of her. We're already planning to find another perfect woman for our needs. We don't need a couple of losers. Marie's served her purpose. Good riddance to her. But I expect something in return, that I get my share of your assets. I have the right to all the savings in your account. We were married after all.
A wolf is sheep's clothing, finally revealing your fangs. Oh, and about Mary, I'm going to demand that you pay her compensation for all the years that you guys abused her. My lawyers are working on the details, so be on the lookout for that. As for our joint account, well, that was like for 2 months or so, not much there, so do as you like. Most of it will probably be gone by the time you pay of Mary.
Why do I even have to pay compensation to her? She's not my wife!
You said it yourself, Mark. You said she was mentally unstable. So I had a psychiatrist examine her, and it seems she was affected by all the abuse your family reaped on her. Mentally, she's sound, but emotionally, that's another story. I have a full report from the doctor that examined her. To make a long story short, she's suing you and your family for emotional distress. Did you know that you can get compensation for stuff like that? I had no idea.
There's no proof that we caused her to become emotionally unstable.
Why do you think I'm divorcing you? You really think I didn't do a little preparation before deciding to divorce you? I had Mary record as much conversation as she could while she was at your house. When we deemed it etiquette, I got her out of there and over to my place. Bet you had no idea. I heard all the recordings, and there was plenty there. Your family talking about me and how you guys were going to rob me blind and enslave me. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys even saw some jail time. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I'm going to have a friend at a major magazine to publish all this, so this never happens again. And I really wouldn't do anything stupid going forward.
Excuse me? Are you out of your frigging mind? Magazine? What magazine would write about some boring family? You make us sound like the Manson family or something.
Do you really run a company, Mark? You really should keep up with the times. Magazines are hand up for stories. Their sales have dropped. Everyone is reading stuff online. Most major magazines will write a story if we pay them enough. We could spruce it up any way we want. Give it a title like, let's see, I was a slave for 5 years or something like that. Or maybe The Evil Family. That would draw plenty of readers.
You're really going to go that far, huh? But I know you. You won't do anything. You'll just end up hurting your own business. That's what you're most concerned about anyway.
Oh, I will go through with it. You can count on it. As a matter of fact, I really met with the chief editor. If I can help more girls, it's money well spent. The whole world will probably not even hear about it, but if enough people in the community read about it, well, you can imagine the backlash, I'm sure. Long as people in the neighborhood read about it, I'm fine with that.
Do you get a kick out of making me and my family suffer? I didn't think you were such a despicable person, Carol. You know what? I really feel sorry for you.
Please don't give me that. Playing the victim now? After all those years of treating Mary like a slave, stealing all her money, I've always believed I was an honorable person. If someone threatens me, I threaten them right back. If someone gives me respect, I respect them back. That's all I have to say to you, Mark.
Come on, Carol. It's not if I treated Marie that way because I wanted to. My folks made me do it. I had no way to refuse. You know how they are.
I'm glad that there's even a tiny bit of remorse left in you.
Does that mean you're going to forgive me? Let's start over. What do you say?
Sorry, that's not gonna fly. After the divorce goes through, show me that you're really sorry and do the right thing. If you really love me as you say, you wouldn't have a problem. First off, about Mary, a lawyer drew up all the papers and her divorce went through without a hitch. The recordings certainly helped. And with all the evidence, she was able to get a fair amount of compensation for the years of abuse she endured. Mark was able to get half of our savings account and few joint assets, and with all that money the family paid Mary her due. I doubt there was much left for Mark. Mary continued with her meeting with her doctor and gradually seemed to be recovering from her emotional trauma. Currently, she's staying with me and I told her she should just relax, but she insisted on helping me around the house. She even helped me with my business. I can never forgive that family for abusing and traumatizing such a kind and considerate woman like Mary. The ordeal with Mark's family made it into the magazine and they were the talk of the town, in a totally negative way, of course. It seems the company went bankrupt and their house was foreclosed. That magazine article really tore the family apart, it seems. I heard that they all went their separate ways. They've always relied on each other for survival, and now the family is no more. I wonder how they will survive. I'm pretty certain they're not leading such a joyous life. Some other family is living there right now. As for all the family members, they sort of disappeared into the night, kind of fighting for them. As for Mary and I, we're currently living together and to be honest, really enjoying ourselves. This house my folks left me is way too big for me alone. Anyway, it's as if I inherited a young sister. For a while, I was a bit depressed, figured I was just not fit for marriage. But I was able to rescue Mary because I was married to Mark. That's something, isn't it?